So, what is faith to you, and what is an example of faith in your life?
Sure. So I think faith to me is this deep-seated belief that actually gets lived out. And so instead of just saying, oh, I believe this, oh, I believe this, it's this passion and this commitment for something greater than ourselves. And so for me, that is faith in God and a God who loves us. And rather than just saying, oh, I believe that, it's like, how do we live that out in our lives? I think that's what really matters the most to me.
Yeah. What is hope to you, and an example of hope in your life?
Sure. I think hope is basically this commitment every day to get up and to live life as if it matters. And so even when there are times when it's hard to see, what am I getting up for? What is today going to bring? To know that there's this greater thing planned, right? God always has bigger plans for us than we can imagine. That's hope. And really imagining and realizing that and getting up each day and living that. For me, the person who exemplifies that on this campus is Miss Hayes, the academic dean, who I work with really closely. She was my theology teacher when I was a sophomore, and now she is a close colleague and a close friend, and I feel like every day she does that. She has had struggles with illness, with cancer, and her job is really, really hard, but every day she gets up and she says, okay, God has something planned for me today. Like, I don't know what, but I'm here, I'm ready to live my life and to know that God's plans are the greatest, basically. So she's an inspiration, I think.
Yeah. And what is charity to you, an example of charity in your life?
So I think for me, charity or love, charity is a better word sometimes, because love is all like, oh, it's so mushy, and charity is much more love in action. And so that too is what does it mean to really sacrifice for other people, to live my life to love other people in a way that says it's not just about me, or like, oh, do I feel like loving this person? It's about loving them as a choice and as an action, and that means putting others before myself and sacrificing. I think for me, one of the examples on campus for that is a senior student who I've gotten to know really well, Katie Cartilia.
So what is hope or charity to you, and what is an example of charity in your life?
Yeah, so I like that it's called charity and not just love, because I think sometimes we say, oh, I love this movie, oh, I love pizza, oh, I love this boyfriend, but in reality, charity is about sacrifice and about putting people sometimes in front of yourself or your own wants. And so it's not just, oh, I feel like I love this person. It's sort of this everyday choosing to love someone, to love them fully, and that means looking at their needs and not just your own. For me, an example on campus is this senior I've gotten to know, Katie Cartilia, who she volunteers with Room in the Inn, she volunteers with refugees, she goes on Bethlehem Farm, and she does find such great joy in that, but it's also a sacrifice when she's taking a lot of hard classes and she's really involved to choose to really love other people through service. And she just does a really good example of that, and that really inspires me to do the same.
Nice. Thank you, Ms. Coyle.